Welcome back to the second session of Getting Started with BlazeMeter. This section is entitled BlazeMeter Account Signup. We'll actually create an account and get in and look around a little bit. Okay, so the first thing we do is just go to blazemeter.com, and when you get there you'll find Start Testing Now buttons here and there. Just click any one of those and put in your name. I'm going to make my address a little unique here. And click Sign Up. And what will happen is you'll be taken directly into the app. You'll get a chance to set your password later. But for now, you have the chance to enter in a URL and run a really simple test. You'll also probably be greeted by one of our helpful people that can answer questions if you'd like. You're welcome to jump in and have a chat with them or just clear the conversation. Right, so I'm going to here, just a quick hit on my website, click Start the Test. So this is just a really simple test to take you right into the application and give you a chance to see how it works. We're using something called a sandbox here, which is a server that's already running. So it's just going to take a few seconds to get started. And I'll probably fast forward this in the video for you. Okay, so now we're into the report screen and we can see that our test has begun. And we need to wait a moment here to get some interesting data to accumulate. But this page will refresh itself automatically, and then we'll get a chance to see these graphs populate. And what you're seeing here is a load graph on the left that shows you the number of users and the number of hits per second and any errors, and a graph on the right that shows you the number of users and the response time. And this is kind of your dashboard with a high-level view of everything. There's also a timeline report that lets you choose the KPIs that you want to display and overlay them on the same graph. So if I wanted to see here what the connect time was, I could add that. You know, if I had multiple things in my test, multiple pages, I could focus on particular pages. I can zoom in these graphs, right, and reset them, right? It's all meant to be very straightforward, right? The load report provides an alternate way to visualize test data. We won't cover it in great detail right now, but it does have features like geometric mean for displaying averages in a different way. The request stats table, when you have a large test with lots of things happening, this gives you a row for each label in your test, basically each piece of the workflow, and then statistics, 90th percentile, 95th percentile, etc. So this lets you look at it in a tabular form, and just as we could zoom in the large graphs, we could actually focus on just a subset of the test by dragging these sliders, right? If any errors occur, they'll show up here and we'll be able to browse through them and expand. And then the logs is where we can actually download the logs after the test of what's happening while we run the whole test. Okay? The executive summary provides the ability for you to create an editable document to share with someone externally. You could write your this is what we did, blah, blah, blah. And you could do all that right here, right? We're not going to use this right now, but this gives you a very high level, easily shared snapshot of the test, 5 slowest URLs if you had a number of them, graphs of what's happening. Something can easily be shared, printed out, put in a PDF, right? In addition to creating that executive summary and sharing that, there's a share feature. The share feature lets you create a public link that takes people direct to this entire report experience where they could choose the different tabs, navigate through here, and do everything except stop and start your test. And if you have issued one of these links and you want to not have someone be able to access it again, you just turn this off. When you turn it on again, it'll generate a new link, meaning the previous people won't be able to view it, but anybody you give this new link to will. So this is that first login experience. We just logged in, we gave a URL, and we were in a test right away. And that really gives you a sense of what the whole idea is behind BlazeMeter, which is to make things really, really simple. But let's take a step back and look at the workspace. Now, I'm going to pause here and go to a workspace that actually has a lot more information in it. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. This is my workspace, and you can see that I've been running a lot of tests. So the dashboard gives you a chance to see all the recent test runs, the actual tests underlying those test runs, because you could run the same test many times. You'd have lots of runs. But these are the actual test configurations over here. And then a usage report showing at a glance kind of how many tests you've been running recently, and you could make this, you know, weekly or monthly. So that's the dashboard. And then over here is kind of my user menu. And if I go to the settings area, I can see what my name is set up as. I have an API key, and that's really important. We'll talk about that in just a second. And then I have, depending on the type of account I might have multiple workspaces, right, that I would manage, each one with its separate entitlements. I might have a number of users that actually have access to the system, and I might want to invite users to have access to the system. Right? So this is our settings area, and don't want to go into too much detail here. This is just really an overview, but this is kind of your control panel for the various settings and features you might turn on. By the time you're watching this, I will have changed my API key, because this is basically the way that you can run tests from outside the portal using Taurus or other techniques. And this allows you to integrate very easily with other systems by using your API key. Projects provides a way to easily create buckets of your test results that are specific to one group of work or one project. If I click here on Show All Projects, you'll see that I have several defined, and I've given a description to a couple of them, which is helpful. So projects is just a way of sort of subsetting your work to keep them focused on individual outcomes. Tests is a list of all the tests in your current project. Reports likewise. The create test, we'll get into this later, but create test is how you would quickly create a test using the web interface to do some new work. So that's about it for now, but let's take a quick look at the help menu over here to see how you can get more resources. First of all, there's a quick link to the knowledge base, and that knowledge base starts with getting started and goes into great detail on everything you can do with BlazeMeter. Now, if we come back over here, I could have actually come right here and searched, let's say, WebSockets, which would do a search in the knowledge base and bring it right up for me. And you notice that our articles typically have links to detailed blog posts we've already published, which give you even more information, screenshots, etc. Also on here you'll find a link to our blog, where we're always publishing new topics, whether they're specific technical tips or thought leadership pieces to help you understand how to get testing done in a modern era. You'll find that there as well. Also in this menu is a quick link for contacting your support and a link to our change log to see recently updated elements of our SaaS solution. That's it for this module. Thank you for joining.